It was a chilly autumn evening when my friend Jake and I decided to spend the night in the infamous Bjorstad House in Norway. We had heard countless stories from locals about the ghost of a young woman who haunted its halls, but our curiosity outweighed our fear. Armed with sleeping bags, snacks and a flashlight, we made our way to the dilapidated structure, ready for an adventure. As we stepped inside, the door creaked loudly, echoing through the empty rooms. A musty odor filled the air, and the cold seemed to seep into our bones. We set up our sleeping bags in the living room, where the faded wallpaper peeled away like the memories of the house itself. With just the beam of our flashlight to pierce the darkness, we tried to shake off the feeling of unease creeping in. As the night wore on, the atmosphere shifted. I noticed that the temperature dropped significantly, and a chill swept through the room. "Did you feel that?" I asked Jake, who nodded, his eyes wide with apprehension. We laughed nervously, trying to dismiss the growing tension, attributing it to our imaginations running wild. After a while, we decided to call it a night. As we settled into our sleeping bags, the house creaked and groaned around us. I could hear the wind howling outside, but it felt like there were other sounds too, whispers perhaps, or the faint echo of footsteps. I tried to convince myself it was just the house settling, but a knot of anxiety tightened in my stomach. In the middle of the night, I woke up to a strange noise. It sounded like soft scratching, coming from just outside our room. I nudged Jake, but he was fast asleep. Just as I was about to shake him awake, I felt a sudden drop in temperature. I could see my breath in the air, and an overwhelming sense of dread washed over me. "Jake," I whispered, my voice barely audible. "Wake up." He stirred, blinking sleepily, but suddenly his expression changed. "What's wrong?" he asked, his voice shaky. "Did you hear that?" I replied, my heart racing. Before he could respond, the scratching sound intensified, and I could have sworn I saw a shadow move across the wall. I gripped my flashlight tightly, my hands trembling. Jake sat up, looking around with wide eyes. "I don't like this, man. Let's just try to sleep." We tried to ignore it, but I could tell Jake was uneasy. As we lay there, I suddenly heard Jake gasp beside me. "What's wrong?" I whispered, my heart racing. He was shifting uncomfortably, his breaths quickening. "I think something's happening," he said, his voice shaky. Before I could respond, he sat up abruptly, his eyes wide with fear. "I can feel something on my back, like fingers digging in." He turned to me, panic etched on his face. My stomach dropped as I instinctively turned my flashlight toward him. As the light illuminated his back, I froze. There, on his skin, were red marks forming in real time, like scratches appearing out of nowhere. "Dude, what the hell is happening?" I gasped, the realization of our situation sinking in. The temperature in the room dropped suddenly, and I could feel the hairs on the back of my neck standing up. "Let's get out of here," I urged, adrenaline surging through me. We quickly packed up our things, but as we moved, the sounds escalated, whispers grew louder, and we could hear footsteps pacing in the hallway. We bolted for the door, but it slammed shut in front of us, as if something was preventing our escape. "What the hell?" Jake shouted, pounding on the door. In that moment of panic, I saw a shadow dart across the hallway, and the air became thick with an unsettling presence. "Open the door," I yelled, fear propelling me forward. With a desperate shove, I pushed against the door, and it finally creaked open. We stumbled out into the cool night air, gasping for breath. We ran as fast as we could, not daring to look back at Bjorstad House. As we reached the edge of the property, I felt an icy hand brush against my shoulder, sending a jolt of terror through me. We sprinted down the road, adrenaline fueling our escape. For weeks after that night, something followed us. We would hear whispers in the dark, and at times, I'd catch glimpses of a shadow out of the corner of my eye. Jake still bore the marks on his arm, faint but persistent reminders of our encounter. We talked about what happened often, trying to make sense of it, but deep down, we knew we had disturbed something that night. Bjorstad House remained a haunting memory for us, a reminder of the night we dared to enter a place that was never meant to be disturbed. Even now, I can't shake the feeling that something is still watching, waiting for the next curious soul to wander into its grasp.